Hi, Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel in beautiful Hawaii. And this is the top 10 Angelina Jordan for 2024. So that's top 10 in terms of music that she's released, but also just things happening in the Angelina Jordan universe that impacted her career. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have If I Were a Boy. What? Only number 10, you say? Well, something has to be number 10, and I do think there are 9 other things that I would rank higher than this. This was the song made famous by Beyonce, although it wasn't originally sung by her, and co-written with Toby Gad, who is going to play a major role later on in this list too. One of the main things I like about this release is like there's a whole bunch of versions came out. There was like 4 live versions and like 3 studio versions. 2 of the studio versions had basically exactly the same sound, but a completely different video, one in a church and one kind of a modern look that I liked with Angelina walking around London in a hoodie. But, this isn't one of my favorite songs, but Angelina Jordan certainly does it justice. And I like the live versions best, especially the So Far version in an intimate club. But also she did a very high-profile version at the Palladium in London. Let's listen to a little bit of that and notice how low she goes here.
But you're just a boy, and you don't understand. Oh yeah, how it feels to love a girl someday. You wish you were a bit of my head.
Coming in at number 9, we have the emergence of the reactor Aaron Hillier of Aaron Reacts. He reacts to more people than Angelina Jordan, but right from the start, when he started reacting to Angelina Jordan, he quickly became hooked, and now he has far more reactions to Angelina Jordan than anybody else. And it's always nice when you get a reactor that is so sincerely smitten with her, but is also knowledgeable about music. He's a jazz musician, and with that knowledge of jazz, he's brought some new insights to his reactions. For example, the Angelina Jordan original "What Is Life," which I've always loved for some of its very poetic lyrics and beautiful runs. He also pointed out some things about its musical structure that he noticed as a jazz musician that gave me a new appreciation. Let's hear a little bit of what he has to say about that.
And the good and bad.
Guys, this is monumental. I mean, at 12 years old, like, are you freaking kidding me? This composition is so sophisticated. Part of the progression that is really just neat, very jazzy, kind of original, where we've got a major 4 that resolves down to a minor 4 that ultimately goes to a flat 7 major that goes to the major 1. So there's a couple of nuances in these chord progressions that really give it its own song feeling, and the way that Angelina is able to sing within these complexities is super impressive. It really is.
Coming in at number 8, we have Angelina Jordan's decision, apparently, to ditch Republic Records. A lot of us fans were talking about how it seemed like Republic Records wasn't really doing much to promote her. And I learned from a reliable source close to her team that, yes, they've spent millions to get her out of Republic Records contract. And for me, I think that's good. If she's unhappy with them, especially, then it's time to go. and I'll have more about that later. And coming in at number 7, we have 3 behind the scenes videos, and kind of grouping together because, you know, we've had a lot of behind the scenes footage of Angelina Jordan, but not like edited into movies with, you know, narration and titles. And we gave some good insights into her process and, you know, just what goes on behind the scenes. And the least important one is a short one. It's a behind the scenes of a making of one of her videos. But I do like how you see some of they show one of the mistakes, for example, while recording. And also they have a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, you can give me a $5 discount. Hello, manners.
The automatic, so
You guys,
oh my god,
you're,
you
you're
guys.
safe, okay? You are.
Yeah, so that's a fun one. That's the least of the 3. And then we also have the 2 longer ones that are connected with 2 of her concerts. The next one on the list of 3 here is from her Glendale concert back in September, and just a lot of kind of revealing scenes about how she interacts with band members, and we have some good quotes from young people, which are mainly just friends of her sister Juliet, but still it's nice to have some young people commenting on Angelina Jordan. And then, you know, standing head and shoulders above the other 2 is this one called 10 Years in the Making, associated with her big Vegas concert in February 29th. This one really stands out because in addition to having all these great behind the scenes scenes, you also have it extensively narrated by Angelina Jordan herself. And she really has some interesting things to say about her attitude towards her fans, her musical idols.
I mean, everything that Elvis has done, it just inspires me so much, from his style, his music. I've done so many. What I tend to do is I love doing my own renditions of cover songs. There isn't 1 second that I'm not listening to music, but it really comes to me all the time, because I do write in my journal every day about like everything happening in life.
She also invents a new word unintentionally that the Angelina Jordan fans have taken to heart, waitening, which kind of means like waiting with breathless anticipation.
It's sort of like that waiting feeling, like, oh my God, I'm so ready.
But the scenes of her with her family in this one are especially endearing. So it's you have a heart of stone if you don't shed a tear in some of these scenes with her sister. And yes, the narration also makes it wonderful. Coming in at number 6 in the top 10 for Angelina Jordan 2024 is 3 unreleased songs that we only were able to experience live in concert. They haven't been released officially on YouTube or anywhere else yet. We do have the fan videos of the concerts. But one was this wonderful song, Princess of Ruins, which talks about her experience of when she gave her shoes to a homeless girl in the Middle East back when she was a young girl herself. It's got some great lyrics. My main complaint about this is that, we need a better sounding version with the drums not so predominant, because it was kind of hard to figure out some of the words, but a wonderful song.
And all the broken hearted I sing for you.
How did you guys like it? You guys are the first to ever hear it, so.
And then the one I rank a little bit above that one is called Thank You. This one was co-written with Toby Gad, who, as I mentioned, will loom large later on in this list. This is a song with very sophisticated adult lyrics. And the version that we've seen, we've heard two versions from the last two concerts. And the first version we heard was a reggae version. And like Princess of Ruins, it had the problem, at least for a lot of people in the audience, at least for me, for example, that the arrangement almost totally drowned out the lyrics. So later on, when we made edited fan videos, we tried to clean up the sound, the lyrics became more clear. But especially now in her very latest concert, she had the stripped down version where you could hear the lyrics that much more clearly. And I haven't actually fully listened to that. I'm saving that for a reaction. But from a little bit that I heard, I can already see I'm really going to enjoy it a lot.
Look what you made me do.
My top one of these three is a song she sang in Glendale, September 20th, called What Am I to You? Now, apparently, from how she introduced it, it sounds like it is a song not written with Toby Gad, just by her. Oh, what a moving song. She described it as being like very raw, and she was embarrassed about how bad it sounded. And if she was embarrassed by that, well, I can't imagine how great the finished version is going to be. Because when she introduced the song, I didn't really catch whether she was saying it was an original song or just one that she was working on and hadn't mastered yet. So when she first started singing it, it sounded like so familiar, like, oh, there's this, familiar classic that she just, hasn't gotten down yet, and that's what she's embarrassed about. But no, it's an original song, just very, very moving. That definitely brought some tears to my eyes. So here's a segment of that. Just the last part of the song is just sublime throughout, the emotion and the tone in her voice.
Like I'm everything to you, everything to you, everything to you, everything to you. Hold me one last time, like I'm everything to you.
Just beautiful.
All right, coming in at number 5, we have Angelina Jordan's collaboration with the composer and musician Toby Gad. Now, this is a collaboration that actually started back in 2022. It's a really interesting story. There was she worked with him quite a bit in 2022, and then there was like a gap of almost a year.
So we go back to 2022 when we first started working together. And I first heard Angelina's voice, and I thought, this is not real. I was blown away. I think this is a once-in-a-decade voice. I've worked with a lot of great artists in my career. And I stopped everything I was doing, and we recorded a few songs, and recorded Bad Valentine. And I just couldn't believe it. I played the song to the label. I sent it to the owners of the label, Monty and Avery. They emailed me back, said it's the best thing she's ever recorded. Then fast forward to February 2023, I was on vacation in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And you called me.
And we were just figuring out like the songs on the EP, And I'm on the phone with Toby, and he's like, well, is Bad Valentine a part of Old Enough? And I'm like, no.
And that's when I hung up the phone.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not talking to her anymore.
He was mad at me. It was almost like we had a breakup moment where, like, we didn't talk at all.
I didn't understand the word anymore. To me, this was the best song that I've done in a long time, and with the best singer I've heard in a long time. And label wasn't going to release it, so I had a real low point in my career. It was probably my ground zero moment of my career, and I thought, I need to start a record label, and I need to become an artist, so one day I can feature Angelina and release those songs. So I started by digging into my old songs and re-recording. When it came to my Beyonce song, If I Were a Boy, I thought maybe, who can sing this? And I thought there's only one person who can sing this, but I'm not talking to her. And so my birthday party was coming up, and I thought maybe just send an invite to the birthday party, and like a minute later, I'm coming.
I was like, hi Toby, how are you? And he was like,
and then my next text was, are you going to sing If I Were a Boy for me?
Yeah.
Instantly said yes, and so we released If I Were a Boy together, and we performed it in London in many amazing concerts, got really well received, and then Angelina asked, aren't we going to release Bad Valentine now? And today is the day, and I couldn't be happier that this finally happened.
All right, coming in at 4, 3, and 2 are the 3 concerts that Angelina Jordan put out this year. And I was able to attend 2 of them, not this latest one. And for a while there, I was wondering how I would rank these. I mean, they're really so closely bunched together, with each of them having their own merits. In the end, I just decided to do it chronologically. So starting with the first one, we have her concert in Las Vegas. This is on February 29th. One of the things that stands out about this concert is this is Angelina Jordan at her most glamorous and with the kind of highest production values of any concert other than, her TV appearances. She had this gown that weighed like 40 pounds, just looked every inch the diva. She had a lot of stamina too. She had like a total of 19 songs that she did twice. She did 2 concerts in the same night. I always regretted not going to the second concert because I thought they would be the same, but they were not exactly the same. And I missed out on, there's a lot of great songs, and the song that I missed out on was My Funny Valentine, just absolutely superb.
Is your figure less than green? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open it to speak, are you but don't judge over me. Now if you
And some standout songs that I was able to experience were 2 Adele songs, 2 Adele covers, and a Rihanna cover, Stay, which was the highlight of the evening for me. It's such a hypnotic voice and a hypnotic just way that she sang it. In general, the quieter songs were the best ones, I thought. And so the main downside of this was the audio quality. It's kind of been a story in several of her concerts. This is definitely an improvement over her Portsmouth concert that I saw last year. But still, in some of the songs, I felt like the drums were intrusive, drowned out the lyrics, drowned out her voice. And I do think that that's something going forward that she needs to work on, is the acoustics and sound mixing. She needs to get a sound engineer who realizes that the band is not the star, it's her voice is the star. Another negative I would say is some of her song choices. She sang some Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston songs, which of course she did a wonderful job because she's a fabulous singer. But I just feel like with those kinds of songs, which are kind of about these pyrotechnics and, big belts and everything, it's kind of like some really great movie actor, but who's not like a muscular guy, like starring in an action movie. Sure, he can emote well and everything, but what you really want for that kind of a movie is you want an Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that, who's not a really good actor, but he's very convincing in that kind of role. So, yeah, that Mariah Carey style songs, at least if she's going to do it in that belting kind of way, I'd rather hear Mariah Carey do it. But just, the plus side of just so many great covers. And she did have that one new release, and it hasn't actually been officially released, and, quite a few originals. And so then coming in next is her September 20th concert in Glendale, which that was a bit of a step back in terms of the sound quality, I thought, a step back from Vegas. The band was more intrusive than Vegas, I thought. But it had so many pluses that I'm going to rank it slightly higher. The main pluses, this is the first one where we had Toby Gad on the scene, and so he played for several of the songs. And also we had Jimmy Zavala, the great harmonica and saxophone player, who was in her 2021 Christmas concert. So he was there and just did some fabulous harmonica, like on the song I'd Rather Go Blind.
So you sing, I love you so much that I don't wanna watch you leave me, baby. Most of all, I just don't wanna be free.
And this is kind of felt like okay, the world is starting to know about her thing. You have these more well-known musicians with her. So you had Scott Hoying from Pentatonics actually open for her. He just did a couple of songs, and then later on, he did this duet of the All of Me song by John Legend, which I had not realized until a little bit before that had actually been co-written by Toby Gad. Toby Gad gave a good story about that. But that duet was wonderful. And like I said before, there was that highlight of her original song, What Am I to You? And then there is a very, very big highlight, but that comes later on in my listing here. And then coming in at number 2 was her Christmas concert that I wasn't able to attend. It was just this month. And I thought, it really would have been difficult for me to see it, even if I thought it was going to be right up there with the other concerts. But I had thought, that it was going to be primarily Christmas songs, maybe shorter than the other concerts. Like her Christmas special in 21 was only 7 songs. So, I'm not really a big fan of Christmas songs per se. And so I thought, okay, I'd really like to go, but I can afford not to. But it turned out to be, all of these concerts all have their pluses and minuses, and they're very closely bunched. But I think this one, yes, from what I have seen of the videos that have come out and the videos I'm starting to work on and edit, is this one had the best sound of the 3 concerts, the best acoustics. It was the most intimate gathering. And So that's the key thing is hearing that voice in all its glory with the best acoustics possible. And she had these again, she had Jimmy Z with her, and Toby Gad was there, but she had these interesting things she hasn't done before. She had like two different versions of the song Bad Valentine, which of course, since I still have a number one spot on my list, that's going to be number one. But she had two different versions of it in the same concert. And she also, that song, Thank You, she had the slowed down version that I just have listened to a little bit of it, but seems very exciting. And she brought back, a lot of people would say this was the highlight of the evening, and from what I saw, that's a video I have seen several times from different angles, is Man's World. This is a song we've been wanting to hear in concert for a long time, since she did two concert versions of it at age 12 in 2018. And so it's been a while, and wow, that did not disappoint at all. So that's probably the number one thing that I regret missing. That's one reason I tell people to go to these concerts. You never know, there's just what kind of showstopper you're going to miss out on if you don't go to it. And then another one that I wish that I could have experienced is her version of I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston song, which is going way back to her roots of when she was 1.5. We have video of her singing that song. Hi, Dougie. But this, from what I can see, was just next level, and so I'm eager to do a reaction to that. So, and also, yes, it was mostly non-Christmas songs, which I hadn't expected. It's only like about 6 Christmas songs, and the rest, there's like 20 songs, and like about 6 of them were Christmas songs. So we had all these classic songs, both originals and covers, and in a setting where the acoustics are really good and really intimate. So we don't know how many more times we're going to get to see her in such an intimate setting like that. All right, so now number 1 is Bad Valentine. That's the original with Toby Gad that, she had recorded with him way back in 2022. And then it wasn't released by her record label, which set Toby on his journey, like we heard in the story of, starting his own label, and then, coming back to it with Angelina Jordan, and they released it at the Glendale concert. Now this song, the reason I put this at number 1, in addition to it just being a great song, is that we kind of like with when If I Were a Boy, we have all these different versions that are great in their own way. So we had that version from the Alex Theater, but we were first introduced to this song a few months earlier at a live stream of this intimate concert where Angelina Jordan performed If I Were a Boy and Bad Valentine. That version was just crazy good and really made us wonder, what was to come. And it continues to make us fans excited about what's going to be going on in the future with Toby Gad. But so that was great. And then actually the studio version was kind of a letdown after that, as I thought it might be, because the bar had been raised so high. But then this live version that came out on the same day that they officially released the studio version that I had the opportunity to hear at Glendale was, it didn't sound as good to us at the concert as the recording that Toby released later, because he used sound from the mixing board. But that recorded version is one of the best recorded versions of a live performance of Angelina Jordan that I can think of. You know, especially a high energy kind of performance like that. And then she came out with this other live version on what's called the Wish USA bus. That was sensational. And she came out with this studio version. It was a jazzy version, slowed down. It was also sensational. A lot of people would say that's the best thing she's ever done. And now this concert that I was not able to attend, she had both the more rock version and the slowed down jazzy version, which I'm very excited about reacting to. I've reacted to like several of the versions of the same song, but it's because every version is so wonderful. So, I just have to, given the quality of the song, its connection with her whole history with Toby Gad, and how that whole, his disappointed about it not being on an album, was kind of both what made their breakup happen, but also made him start on this journey of having his independent label and getting back together with her and working more with her. It's that's a really important thing about it, a reason to rank it highly. And they're continuing to work on stuff, and if it's any kind of example of what we have to look forward to in the future looks bright. Yes, 2024 was not a year where she broke through big time like I had thought she would. Maybe she never will break through big time, but it's looking like now that she's free of Republic Records, apparently free of Republic Records, and working a lot with Toby, that yes, 2025 is going to be the year. And I've been saying, I told you so. Okay, Chris Walker, Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Aloha.